Most Australians spend 40 years grinding away, building their super, assuming they'll figure out the retirement stuff later. Then later arrives. And suddenly they're sitting across from a financial advisor hearing words like assets test, income test, deeming rate, and preservation age, and they nod along like they understand, then go home and Google everything from scratch. Here's the brutal truth. Millions of Aussies leave tens of thousands of dollars sitting on the table every single year, not because they're bad with money, but because they don't understand one thing: when to start drawing on government support, and how it works alongside their super. Today we're covering 7 powerful reasons why 65 might be the smartest age to start accessing the age pension, and how getting this timing right could put an extra $40, $50, even $60,000 in your pocket over your retirement. If you're within 10 years of retirement, you cannot afford to miss this. Let's set the scene first. Picture Dave, 64 years old. He's been working since he was 17. He's got about $280,000 in super, owns his home outright, and he's exhausted. He wants to retire at 65. His mates are telling him to wait until 70 to touch the age pension because you get more money. His brother is telling him to draw down his super as fast as possible before the government counts it. His neighbor reckons he won't even qualify because he owns his house. Dave is getting advice from 3 people who all mean well and are all wrong. That confusion, that noise is costing everyday Australians real money. And Dave's story is not unusual. It is Australia's retirement story, repeated in every suburb, every RSL, every coffee shop in the country. So let's clear the fog. Here are 7 genuinely compelling reasons to look seriously at accessing the age pension at 65. Number 1. You've earned it. This is not a joke or a feel-good platitude. Australia's age pension is not a charity. It is a government benefit system that you have contributed to through decades of taxation. The qualifying age is currently 67, not 65. And we'll come back to that. But understanding eligibility from 65 onwards shapes every financial decision you make in that window. Knowing what's coming and when is the difference between a plan and a guess. Number 2. The means test works in your favor more than you think. Huge misconception here. Most Australians assume they'll never qualify because they have super savings or own a home, but the family home is exempt from the assets test. Let that land. If Dave owns his home outright and has $280,000 in super, he will likely qualify for at least a part pension. A part pension is not a consolation prize. Even a partial payment, say $400 a fortnight, adds up to over $10,000 a year, tax-free. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $200,000 that Dave's super doesn't have to cover. That means his super lasts longer, earns more, and gives him more security in his 80s when healthcare costs start climbing. Number 3. Your super can work alongside the pension, not against it. This is where people get confused and make expensive mistakes. Some Australians drain their super before applying for the pension, trying to reduce their assets and qualify faster. That is almost always the wrong move. Others refuse to touch their super at all, living lean and uncomfortable because they're afraid of losing pension eligibility. The sweet spot is a coordinated drawdown strategy, drawing from super at a pace that keeps you within the pension thresholds, maximizing both income streams at the same time. Done right, this approach can be worth tens of thousands of dollars across your retirement. A licensed financial advisor who specializes in retirement income can model this for your exact situation. Number 4. Inflation is not your friend, and waiting costs you. There's a popular idea that you should delay pension access to get a higher payment. Here's the reality check. Every year you delay is a year you're not receiving payments. The break-even point, the age at which delaying actually pays off, is often further away than people expect. Meanwhile, the cost of living keeps moving. Groceries, utilities, insurance, rates, they don't pause while you wait. Starting payments earlier, even at a slightly lower rate, often beats waiting when you factor in the real-world cost of funding those extra years out of your own pocket. Number 5. It reduces pressure on your super during the most vulnerable years. Here's something the financial industry doesn't talk about enough. The first decade of retirement is when your super is most vulnerable to what's called sequence of returns risk. If the market drops sharply in years 1 through 5 of your retirement and you're drawing down heavily, you may never fully recover, even if the market bounces back strongly. Supplementing your income with the age pension during those early years means you can draw less from super when markets are rocky. You're giving your investments breathing room. That breathing room can be worth an enormous amount over a long retirement. Number 6. The pension provides a permanent income floor. Super balances go up and down. Markets do whatever they like. But the age pension is indexed to inflation and wages. It's designed to keep pace with the cost of living. It's not generous on its own, but as a floor, a guaranteed base income that never runs out, it's powerful. Knowing that floor exists changes how you manage everything else. You take on a little less anxiety, you make less reactive decisions, and financially reactive decisions in retirement are often catastrophic. Calm, strategic decisions made from a position of stability are almost always better. Number 7. Peace of mind has a dollar value. This one's harder to put a number on, but it's real. Australians who understand their retirement income structure, who know exactly what's coming in, from where, and when retire, with significantly less financial stress. And financial stress in retirement is not just unpleasant, it's a health risk. It affects relationships, sleep, and quality of life. Understanding your age pension entitlements, your super access options, and how they interact isn't just a money exercise, it's a well-being exercise. Now, the common mistakes. The first is doing nothing and hoping it works out. It won't. The pension system requires you to apply. It doesn't find you. The second is making major super decisions, big lump sum withdrawals, rollovers, gifts to children, without understanding how those moves affect your pension eligibility. The gifting rules alone catch thousands of Australians off guard every year. The third is relying on the pub or the barbecue for financial advice. Your mate's situation is not your situation. The rules are complicated, they change, and general advice from well-meaning people has cost Australian retirees real money. Here's what to do right now. Go to the Services Australia website and use the online pension estimator. It takes about 10 minutes and gives you a rough picture of what you might receive and when. Write down your super balance, your assets, and your income. Then book a session with a financial advisor who focuses specifically on retirement income planning, not general investing, retirement income specifically. Ask them to model the interaction between your super drawdown and your pension eligibility over a 10-year horizon. That one session could be worth more than any investment you make this year. A quick and important note before we wrap up. Everything you've heard in this video is general educational information only. It is not personal financial advice. Everyone's situation is different. Your age, your assets, your health, your relationship status, your housing situation, they all affect your entitlements. Please speak with a licensed financial advisor or contact Services Australia directly before making any decisions. This content is designed to help you understand the landscape, not to replace professional guidance. Dave, by the way, got help. He sat down with an advisor, worked out a coordinated strategy, and discovered he qualified for a part pension immediately at 67 alongside a managed super drawdown. Over 20 years, His advisor estimated the coordinated approach would generate over $65,000 more than his original plan of just spending down his super and hoping for the best. That's not a magic trick. That's just knowing the rules and using them. Retirement isn't the end of financial strategy. It's where smart strategy pays off the most. Now here's my question for you. Out of the 7 reasons we just covered, which one genuinely surprised you the most? Was it the assets test and what your home does or doesn't count for? Was it the sequence of returns, risk, and how the pension protects your super in those early years? Or was it something else entirely? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your question might become the next video. If this gave you one useful idea, one thing you're going to look into or do differently, smash the like button. It's the best way to tell me this kind of content is worth making more of. And if you've got a partner, a sibling, or a parent within 10 years of retirement who has never sat down and thought this through, share this video with them. It might be the most useful thing you do for them this year. I'm Rafiki, and I'll see you in the next one.